Like a Rolling Stone, of course, Bob Dylan. It's not Bob Dylan, though. It's a band who I do believe are from Northern Ireland. They're called the Phantom Engineers. And they're brilliant. I just love that. There's a great sound of that. It's really energetic. Good morning. Which is more I can say from the team around me.
We like that.
I know, but you're not energetic. That's all I'm saying. I don't know if you like things or not. It's hard to tell by the blank looks on your faces. Sometimes, when people like things, their faces light up. But I see no sign of any life at all in the face of you
But
or
that's
either.
not. You
Emma.
See, that's one of those songs where you just sit quietly and listen to it,
I
absorb it.
I have to agree with you. I'd like to thank the man who sent me this
It's not
card.
a bus run song.
It's a bus run song.
It's not a bus run song.
It's not a bus run
No.
song?
No.
Okay.
No.
I'd like to thank the man who sends me this card. You've seen this card, have you? It's 4 views of beautiful Rathlin Island. On one quarter of the front is a Portal Dolmen. On the other one is a ancient church. Another one is a beach to boat. And the other one is me on a bicycle.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
No, I'm jealous.
You don't like that.
No.
There's an individual card with just me on it. But
Yes, I know. Where's the Indian photograph?
No.
You were to show us that
No.
yesterday.
No, I don't like that.
Oh.
It's an offence before God.
Okay.
I can't look at that because it makes me look thin and ugly. I can't understand why he thought I would like it. Anyway, this is a postcard of beautiful Rathlin Island.
Ireland.
And a man, have you seen the one of me just individually in the front of it? They're all so...
Aaron's on one.
Can't you hear me talking?
I know, but we're fed up with you listening to you
I know
talking
that.
about you.
No, this is about you as well. On the back of it, a man writes, he describes himself as an Ochnacloy listener.
Ah, all right.
He says, "Dear Gerry, love your programme. Best on Radio Ulster. Love the conversation between you and Sean. Isn't that good, your mate? Please do not use bad language, such as..." And then he gives an example. "Your programme is so good, it does not need expletives." Is that expletives or expletives?
I would
don't
say
know.
expletives.
I think so. Keep up the good work. You keep me sane. They were keeping a man in Ochnacloy sane. So we're doing a good thing. A gentleman wants to know, is Geordie Tuft still in the angry management clinic or has he been let out? I haven't heard him since the big bust-up with Kenny Archer. Remember the big row with Kenny that we had to curtail? We had to turn them off. I felt that maybe perhaps Geordie was going to utter an expletive. It brought back memories of another great battle when old Geordie went haywire about how much lime should be used to make whitewash. Do you remember that famous row?
Yes.
And it started off with a ball of blue, didn't it?
I thought about his pole last night.
Did you?
Yeah.
How weird.
That's a strange thing, all right.
Ring the bell, seconds out, here comes Geordie, the raging bull of the Bricklands. No, but after all, Geordie has appeared since that. Did he not appear momentarily in this programme a couple of days ago?
Yesterday.
I thought it wasn't too far away. And it's funny how, sometimes when you talk on this radio, maybe a small thing you say will jog a memory here, provoke a response there. A gentleman writes to me, and his name is JR from Limavady. He said, "I was astonished yesterday to hear that Anderson played with Toe Jam. I mentioned a small rock group that I used to be a part of, a 3-piece, of which I was 33 1/3%. I saw them in the late 70s, in the Wild Duck in Port Glenone. Yes, they were that successful." See a little sarcasm there. Yeah. My wife remembers one of the band making a rude gesture with his tongue. She thinks it was the bass player.
Yes.
But I think it was the drummer. I can't remember a particular night, maybe 30 years ago, making a rude gesture with my tongue in the Wild Duck in Portcanon. It may have been drink. It could have been me, but I think it's more like the drummer. I tried to find some pictures of the band on the net, but all I can find is pictures of toes. Could you help us? Do we have a photograph of that band?
Yes.
Have we?
Yes.
Why, have you got one?
You have one.
I don't have any.
Yes, there's one up in the wall.
Is there?
Beside you.
But that's just us wearing clothes.
Yes.
No, it's not really.
Oh, yeah.
Band playing, not us
and
playing.
some of you, and there's only 3 of you, some of you are in a drunken state.
Well, there is a photograph extant. All right, then, but I can't send that to him because I can't make a copy of it. It's very difficult. Is there someone on the line here?
Yes.
Hello, good morning.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm very good.
Good. What can we do for you today, I wonder?
My name's Arun.
Yes?
I'm basically holding an event today. A
Yes?
boxer run event.
A bus run? We just talked about a bus run earlier on.
A boxer run.
What's a boxer run?
Basically, it's a run around PEC pitches in your boxers in an obstacle course.
You mean your underpants?
Yes, I mean my underpants. About 200 of us, probably.
Call a spade here. If it's underpants, it's underpants. Don't be using that boxer talk to me. 100 people in their underpants running around where?
Not Elms. PEC pitches outside Queen's Gym.
Yes. Are these students, these people?
Most of them are students. Some of them could be parents, maybe. And, most of them are students. First year, second year, third years.
Well, are you urging others to join in, or do you want to tell us
Yeah,
more?
anyone's welcome. It's at 2 o'clock outside Queen's Gym, and there's free pizza, and there's a 50-foot assault course, and it's in aid of Macmillan Cancer and ARC.
Okay, what did you say, 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock? 3?
2 o'clock to 5 o'clock.
2 o'clock. So you urge people to show up in their boxers and to run. How far do they have to run?
Oh, it's not really a distance. It's just as long as you want. It's basically we've hired a 50-foot blow-up assault course, like a bouncy assault course and a bungee run. And people can just run as far as they want and then stop. And it is pretty cold at the minute. We're just down at the site setting up.
It's getting colder by the hour, actually. It's going to be very cold today. I'd say it'll be chilly enough by 2 o'clock.
Oh, that's the whole fun of it, really.
But that's all the more reason to get warmed up and run around, isn't it?
Definitely.
All right, so as for Macmillan Cancer, they're a very very successful charity, by the way, and I know people up here are very involved in that, and they're very successful. They raise a lot of money. So I hope you can be as successful today in raising money. So we urge people, free pizza, come in your boxes. Where do they assemble again?
Outside PEC's gym, Queen's Gym, and the big field on the embankment.
Is this men only?
Nope, it's boys and girls. All are welcome. Actually, more girls than guys are doing it.
But hold on a minute. If women are wearing their boxers, well,
they wear T-shirts on top. We provided them with Macmillan T-shirts.
I'm relieved to hear that. Okay. Yes. All right then. So I hope you're very successful. Come back to us tomorrow and tell me how you get on, will you?
Definitely.
All right then.
All right. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Did you watch that ghost program on TV last night?
I did.
That was the weirdest thing I think I've ever seen. Now, you see, you have to be very careful here because we don't want to criticise BBC programmes, but, let's do it anyway.
Yes.
Because I did a number of programmes on... You see, I know what I'm talking about here. And what I saw last night was guys doing something completely opposite of what you're supposed to do. I mean, I went out and it's different for radio. You see, you can do ghost... I believe in this. Don't get me wrong. Mm-hmm. I believe in such a thing. I'll tell you what I believe in. I believe what the other ghost hunt people believe in, the people who know what they're talking about. They believe that whenever people die, there's something that none of us understand. And it's nothing to do with religion, and it's nothing really to do with souls or anything, any kind of religious concept. It's something to do with something that happens. It's about essence. It's about some kind of what remains of the person. Do you know we are here, and we are beings, and suddenly if I kill you now, which I dearly love to do, if I kill you now, I mean, you just don't stop. Do you know what I mean? Everything that is built up over your life, your whole personality, you've got a whole aura. It's disgusting, I know, and it's mostly made of golf. But the fact is that you have a whole personality that's been made up over the years. And if I suddenly kind of shoot you, it doesn't all just stop right away.
That house isn't my golf club. Our golf club sort of practically surrounds that house.
I know, but please try and think somewhere beyond golf. Now, I'm just trying to explain what people believe. And they believe there's some kind of essence there. And sometimes they believe that whatever is the essence of the person sometimes does not... I know you're bored. I can hear
take long.
No, but the people have to hear this. The people, there's some kind of essence there that remains around about the area where the person is. And what the people, the ghost hunting people, what they believe is that it's more likely to remain if the person is murdered or is killed unexpectedly. You see, because, they're not ready to die. If you're ready to die, maybe perhaps it makes a difference. Nobody knows anything, but nobody knows anything about anything. And all these guys do. I went out with the people and we looked at stuff, but I thought it was quite strange that you could actually get ghosts, with TV lights on.
Yes.
And one of the things, but see, once you hear the word psychic, you go, and the guy that was presenting it, he said he didn't say he was a psychic, but he kind of said he was.
Well, what was the girl that they brought over from England?
She described herself as kind of a medium, but she looks all the world. I'd say she's a psychic.
Yeah.
And the thing I thought was very interesting was when she detected the presence of a ghost,
yes,
and she said that the ghost was suicidal.
Yes.
Too late. Too late.
But there was another time, and I must say, now I apologise, but I laughed out loud.
I laughed out loud many times.
Several times I laughed out loud.
See, the thing about that, before we go on, sorry, I'm sorry to bore you about this, but whenever you make a TV programme about ghosts, you see, we spent nights upon nights upon nights in pitch blackness in various places, Crumlin Road Jail and various haunted workhouse in Derry, and we saw certain things, but nothing that could ever be televised. You'd never see it. And you have to sit in the dark for hours and hours before you even see a glimmer of a light or some kind of a wee thing. But there is something there.
There was one time, Gerry, when
he dropped his torch, I thought that was great.
No, I thought the best part was when they made contact with the spirit or the ghost or whatever you want to call it.
Yes.
And this person, and the ghost then ended up talking to her.
Yeah, hello.
And the ghost...
And do you remember what the ghost said? who was booted out of X Factor last Saturday. Is Wagner still there?
No, but the ghost wanted to leave the room.
That's right.
Imagine a ghost being trapped in the room, and the ghost then says, She said, "Do you want me to take you out of the room?" And the ghost said yes. And they were walking down the stairs, and she says, "Wait for the ghost." They were way ahead of the ghost. They had to wait for the ghost.
Come on, there. What's keeping you?
Well,
you see, it's things like that make you laugh. And anyway, let's not speak any more about that because it sounds as if we're slagging a BBC programme. But I thought
which we're not.
It's hilarious.
Yes, it was funny.
We're encouraging people to watch it. Anyway, speaking of which, here's a record by, do you remember Andy Rook?
Yes.
Andy Rook's a man who's a friend of this programme. He used to contact us on a regular basis and send us letters and all kinds of things. Well, he's written a song called Mary Cunningham, The Christmas Ghost.
Oh, by the way,
yes.
Remind me,
yes.
There is a man, why did I say remind me?
I don't know why.
No, I'm to remind you, a man asked me to ask you, would you tell your Phil Lynott story this morning? Because he'd heard about it and he's never heard it. And he's a big, big fan of Phil Lynott.
Oh, that's something for me to look forward to.
So just
I'll tell that story. Yeah.
Will you tell it now?
And another thing I forgot to mention. Do you remember the guy said he was sitting in the landing in the dark and he was holding a torch.
Yes.
And he looked up and he saw this ghost. And he dropped the torch and went, "What?" And he was looking at it after. He said, "Oh, look at that. There's me getting up. And there's a ghost." Unfortunately, the camera was in the wrong angle to see the ghost. You'll just have to take my word for it.
It's been many long years since they found her alone in the night.
This is Mary Cunningham, The Christmas Ghost.
Next to a pile of old Christmas cards, neatly stacked 4 inches high. She had passed away lonely. It seems she had started to write. A vow farewell letter to the people she loathed and despised. As the Christmas hour strikes, the ghost of old Mary delights in making your heart jump with fright. Don't stray from the line. Don't stray from the line. Was the day the old lady died. She was filled with revenge for the way she was scorned and denied. Now she haunts empty streets as she grunts, she screams and she cries. If the legend is true, she will rip you apart as she smiles. Midnight hour strikes, ghost of old Mary delights. She'll make your heart jump with fright. Don't stray from the line. Don't stray from the line. She rules the town, Mary the warning star. So Mary Cunningham, by Mary Cunningham, she'll tear at your heart, she'll tear at your heart. If you wake up in darkness, I beg you, turn on the light. For Mary is patiently waiting, she rules the night. Nothing will save you, don't be alone Christmas Day. For Mary's watching from shadows, she wants to play. As the Christmas star strikes, the ghost of old Mary delights, making your heart jump with fright. Don't stray from the line. Don't stray from the line.
We goes to the end.
Yeah, we goes to the end. That's a real epic, that. That's great. I think that's brilliant. That's Mary Cunningham, The Christmas Ghost. That's by Andy Ruck. That's just released. That's a ghost story, of course.
Talking of ghosts,
Yes.
A good friend of yours, and I refuse to name this person on
Go on,
air.
name that person.
No, a good friend of yours apparently has got a ghost in a bottle.
Really?
Yes. And this person would write to you on a regular basis.
Uh-huh.
And I don't want to mention this person's name.
But when is he going to let the genie out of the...
I don't know, but maybe you should talk to that person.
Maybe that... Have you got... Is it on the air? That person on the air?
No.
Why don't that person ring and we'll discuss bringing
How do
the
you get a
ghost
ghost?
into the studio?
How do you get a ghost into a bottle?
I don't know. I know how to get a ship in. You see the ship in the bottle? I know how
Oh,
that's
I know how
done.
you do that. Yeah.
But see, a lot of people don't. So in other words, he's got a ghost in a bottle, but why doesn't he bring it
Now,
into the
this is
studio?
not funny. This is not like spirit, like whiskey or anything.
I'm not.
like that.
I'm,
No,
do you hear me making any
No,
whiskey
no,
jokes?
no, it's not.
I understand that. It's not a spirit in a bottle. It's a spirit in a bottle. It's a ghost in a bottle. You can bring it in here. What would it say? Who was putting off X Factor this week? Is that week girl still in? What about Celebrity in the Jungle? Is Nigel Havers still there? Anyway, that's neither
Are
here
you
nor
watching
there.
that?
What?
Yes,
Yes, I
watching
am.
that jungle thing.
Oh, you have to watch all this stuff. You see, this is what's wrong with you. You dismiss things out of hand. You don't realise what's going on. You have to witness these things. Yeah, it's like, if you see a car crash, you have to watch it to see what it's like.
I've had a bad experience this last 3 or 4 Wednesday nights on TV at 11:15.
Watching Madman again?
No.
What?
I
What?
don't want to mention the programmes.
Sketchy.
I don't want to mention.
Well, there's a new one on tonight called LOL.
I can't wait.
Okay. Anyway, speaking of which, speaking not of which, Wednesday the 24th of November is today. Today is People's Millions Day. People's Millions Day. I'm not quite sure what that is. I read something about it this morning. But apparently, if you vote, Stuart Bailey, our colleague in the BBC, is the man behind the Oh Yeah Centre in Belfast, which is doing wonderful work for young musicians and bands. And apparently, if you ring a number, 0871 6268 1006. You can vote for Oh Yeah to win a People's Millions kind of prize or whatever it is. I don't know what it is. You can vote 10 times from each phone. So if you're a fan of Oh Yeah, believe me, ring 0871 6268 106, and if they get enough votes, they'll win something wonderful. A 2-minute feature on their plans will be on UTV tonight around 6:15. I must find out more about that because I have no idea. Right, I'll be back approximately 4 minutes past 11 o'clock after the news.
On 92 to 95 FM
and 1341 medium wave.
This is BBC Radio Ulster.
BBC News at 11 o'clock. This is Sabrina Sweeney. The Public Prosecution Service has confirmed that a police officer will not face charges in connection with the investigation into the Lough Island massacre. 6 men were killed when 2 gunmen opened fire in a bar in the village in 1994. A police reservist had been reported to the PPS by the police ombudsman. The decision not to prosecute has been criticised by Sinn Féin and the SDLP. Margaret Ritchie is the local MP. She said it was a further frustration for the families of those who died.
They have waited a considerable time for truth and justice, only to be told that there's going to be no prosecution. It is now time for the Ombudsman's report to be published. And running alongside that, I think there is a case for an independent inquiry as to what happened in Lough Island on that particular night, if there was, to clarify, if there was collusion between the then security forces and loyalist paramilitaries.
An inquest into the death of a County Antrim woman who died after giving birth in November 2007 is beginning this morning in Belfast. Terry Louise Moore died at Belfast City Hospital a fortnight after delivering a healthy baby girl in the Antrim Area Hospital. Earlier this year, the Attorney-General directed the coroner to hold an inquest, despite a previous request from the family being turned down. The level of sickness absence among civil servants has remained static at an average of 11 days a year. It's estimated that equates to a pay bill of almost £23 million. The latest figures show that half the civil service took no days off sick. The Finance Minister, Sammy Wilson, said the continuing high level of sickness absence was disappointing. Well, that was the news, and now the weather forecast with Barabest.
It's been a cold start and temperatures won't really recover today, with highs around 5 or 6 degrees, and it'll feel colder in places with northerly winds. It is bright and mainly dry with just a few showers, possibly wintry over higher ground and towards some coastal areas. This evening and overnight it'll be mainly dry with clear skies, allowing a widespread frost to develop as temperatures fall to -3 in parts.
BBC News.
BBC Radio Ulster. Travel News. If you're travelling between Dublin and Belfast, there's been an accident on the M1 south of the border. The collision is partially blocking 2 lanes on the M1 between junctions 7 and 8. That's near Julianstown in County Meath. On to roadworks, and on the outskirts of Templepatrick, the Lyle Hill Road is closed for the next month. Meanwhile, in County Tyrone, work continues on Mullameena Park in Omagh. And finally, at the George Best Belfast City Airport, the latest Flybe flight from Edinburgh is now delayed to 11:45. Anne Jordan reporting. Travel News on BBC Radio Ulster.
On Talkback with Wendy Austin today, do you live in the country? Been robbed lately? Hundreds of people have. Why has there been a 200% rise in recent months? Moving mental health? Not enough staff for A&E. What was the point of the Down Hospital? Young Jordan McDole's grandpa called for better safety information on helium balloons. We'll hear how that Talkback interview has changed, as does attitude to them as children's presents. And the Ashes begin. The best spin bowler in Long Kesh tells me he'll be up all night. How's that? Join the debate on Talkback at 12.
Thank you very much.
This is Cara Dillon from her great new DVD and CD called Cara Dillon Live at the Grand Opera House. She'll be in this programme in a couple of weeks' time to talk about it. She's in a new Disney movie as well called Tinkerbell. What about that? Not bad for Dungiven.
This tune was composed by Spencer the Rover, has this valiant man had ever left home. Well, he had been much reduced, and it caused great confusion, and that was the reason he started to roam. In Yorkshire near Rotherham he had been on the ramble, and weary of travelling he had sat down to rest by the foot of the young mountain, by a clear crystal fountain with bread and cold water. He himself did refresh. With the night fast approaching, to the woods he resorted, where the woodbine and ivy is a bed for two make. But he dreamt about sighing, lamenting and crying. Go home to your family and a rambling for sale. 'Twas the 5th day of November, I have reason to remember, when first he arrived home to his family and his friends. Well, they did stand so astounded, confused and dumbfounded, to see such a stranger once more in their sight. His children came around him with their verses and their stories, their verses and stories to drive cares away. Well, he's as happy as those that have thousands of riches. Contented he'll remain and not ramble away. This tune was composed by Spencer the Rover, as valiant a man had ever left home. He had been much reduced, and it caused great confusion, and that was the reason he started to roam. La, 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 la,
She was smuggled into the land of the free, with a gag on her mouth, roped hands and feet. Please don't hurt me, she said to the strange man. I'm 14 years old, she said, trying to stand. I come from Honduras, my name is Rosanna. Well, we taught her how to get good and high, how to satisfy a man who was willing to buy, or put a gun to her head and have his own way, with a sister, a daughter, maybe mother someday, somebody's sister, daughter, or mother someday. And she brought a little baby into the world, a brown-skinned, black-eyed daughter. And she made it as far as the Rio Grande, naked as a baby, clothes in her hand, waiting on the helicopter to pass. She was kneeling down in the tall dry grass, silent as a prayer on Easter Mass. And when the dogs are gone, they race for the river. Cold and afraid, it made Rosanna shiver. On the other side, everybody keeps running, like a white-ass deer when you fire a gun. They run to where the trucks are gonna come. Hey, it's 3 days of poison wells and it's hot as hell. And her friend Carla, she don't look so well. Carla dies in the shade of an old thorn tree. Don't cry, Rosanna, just let her be. It's another free meal for the coyote. Yeah. But I feed Jesus with my own hand. Would I let Jesus step on my land? Or poison my well, sick a dog on a child of God, like Rosanna. Rosanna. Money for the mafia, American green. A truck ride to Houston, packing like sardines. Back to the street to find her way home. Same old tricks, sell sex and get stoned. Handshake and talking to her daughter on the payphone. One day we all have to cross the waters with our brothers, our sisters, sons and daughters. Just as sure as the moon swims the Rio Grande, one day she'll walk through our door. Hallelujah, Hosanna. Welcome home, Rosanna.
Oh, that's one of my favourite records. That's Marcus Hummon, Marcus Hummon. That's from an album called Rosanna. That's the title track called Rosanna. I think that guy's so talented and nobody knows hardly anything about him. He's not all that popular, but he's brilliant. Why is it?
Why are you playing Big Last Me Long songs for today?
I'm just about to say, I just suddenly realised that nearly all the songs I played today are quite long.
Too long.
Maybe too long for you.
Too long.
But all I'm saying is it's a coincidence. I'm not doing this deliberately. It's just all the ones that I picked today are all like 5 minutes long. Jeez. But you don't have the patience. There are people out there probably enjoying that. Very few, perhaps.
Yes.
But there are a few. A gentleman writes in response to the conversation we had about the spirit life. Yes. He said, I'm a medium too. That's what it says on my underpants. I'm like that one. Well, you see, this is an odd thing. I have to be honest, hold my hand on my heart and say that I have no time for psychics. No time. Yeah. Absolutely. I think they should be called physics. But every once in a while, you meet a medium and they have something to offer. Because I have met mediums who actually did have something to offer. I never met a psychic yet who wasn't looking for money. Do you know what I mean? They're kind of medicine, what do you call them, snake oil salesmen, basically. And they prey on people who aren't that bright. But some of the mediums, they do what it does say on the tin. I met a medium once who actually did channel a person who had been spent some time in a Crumlin Road jail.
See, I can't buy into it at
No,
all.
but I buy into it absolutely, completely.
I don't.
Because it was the most frightening thing I've ever seen. Yeah. And it was unnatural, and it was supernatural, and it was unworldly, and it was different, and it was genuine. And it scared the life out of me.
I think that no matter where you are, you could be sitting in there in that studio now. And then if they put you in darkness and left you on your own, your mind starts playing tricks, and you start to get afraid, and you get nervous, and you...
Okay, I'm going to ask you something now. How
no
long?
Where you are.
I'm going to ask you to do something now. How long can you do this? Okay? I'm going to do something now, and I want you to do it. I'm going to ask you how long you can do it. Okay, hear me. Are you ready for me?
Mm-hmm.
This is a sound. Okay. long can you do that? Will you do it?
About that length of time.
Do it and see how long you
No,
can
it's
do it.
about that length of time.
What length of time is
I
that?
couldn't do it much longer. I'll say 17 seconds.
Okay.
Just
I saw a medium who did that for 2 minutes.
What?
I said to him afterwards, I said, do you realise what you did? He said, no. He said, you made that sound for like 2 minutes. He said, that's quite common. He said, I couldn't do that.
So you were timing them. This sound started, and you just happened to have a watch on you, and you timed it.
We had a thing called a recording machine, which had little numbers on it, John.
Yes, that's
You've
all
seen
right.
those.
Yes.
Gentleman talking
I don't
about
believe
the...
that.
You don't believe anything.
No.
If the women students turn up for that run at 2 p.m. wearing their pulling ones, or there are hardly anything there ones, I'll be definitely there cheering them on. A man much like myself. How's the fitting of the new hair going? Did you go blonde or stay grey? People are so cruel out there.
Yeah.
No wonder I don't read these text messages. Tell Pencil Neck. That'll be me then.
Yes.
Did he see Daybreak this morning? Daniel O'Donnell was on promoting his new Christmas album. You mean Daniel was on talking to Christine about his album? Christine must have said, the money isn't worth it. The money isn't worth it. Hello, Christine. How are you getting on?
I didn't know he had an album out.
Christmas album?
Aye.
Does a cow eat goats? I nearly said that. Gerry.
Does a cow eat goats?
Daniel, hello.
How are you doing, Christine?
Well, you know, you read the papers, you know.
What?
No,
Who's who?
No, Daniel's sympathising with Christine about her programme not going well. And he's
That's
saying it's
right.
going great. I can't do Christine, by the way.
Yeah, you can.
Hello, Daniel. How you doing?
That's all right. That's all right. That's it.
Good to see you.
Thanks very much, Christine. God, Christine, how's it going now for you? Is it going all right for you?
You've read the papers.
Read the what?
The papers. This is Adrian.
How are you doing, Adrian?
I'm all right.
God,
I can't do anything. I can't do this.
It doesn't matter. God, you should get an awful lot of criticism. But I look, the same thing happened to me when I was starting out. There was all sorts of funny remarks, and people, they just want to see you down. Are you managing all right, Adrian?
I can't do it. I can't do this. I can't
Talk
do the
football.
voices. Talk football.
That's all he can talk about.
Well, I can't do Adrian at all. No, I can't do this.
Well, you're better at Christine.
Am I? Gerry, we are disappointed at you for not playing our local country singer here in Moneymore, Richard Findlay. He's got a song called Christmas is a Time of Peace. Well, hasn't everybody? Well, I don't have a copy of that, Richard Findlay. If you send me Christmas is a Time of Peace, I will play it in the privacy of my room upstairs, and if a crowd of us decide that it's good, we'll play it on the radio. Grand Christmas fair in All Saints Parish Centre, Cushendall Road, Ballymena, this Friday night. Who do I sound like?
I don't know.
I sound like the guy. There's an English guy who used to be on PM Ulster. He used to talk about the prices going up and prices going down. Is that Frank Mitchell? I don't know. Santa's Grotto and Wheel of Fortune. Cayley Barn Dance and Dromore. No wonder I don't read these things. Cayley Barn Dance. This is Hugo territory. Cayley Barn Dance, Dromore Leisure Centre, Bowling Pavilion, County Down, Friday the 26th tomorrow night. Friday night music by Alistair Scott, Cayley Band. Supper provided. Pay at the door. Did you see Jackie Fullerton on TV last night trying to sing in Nashville? Was that on again last night?
It's been a repeat.
Repeats, yeah. We don't talk about repeats in this programme. Gerry, I liked Like a Rolling Stone. Oh, there we go. And the gentleman wants to know what's the name of the singer and the song Ghost Something. Well, the fellow's name is Andy Ruck, ANDYRUCK, and the song is called Mary Cunningham, The Christmas Ghost. And there's a website there you can check it out, www.andyruck.com. ANDYRUCK.com. Gerry, read out and spell slowly the name of the Japanese guy who sings The Hills of Donegal.
I don't know.
How are we supposed to know that? I don't know any Japanese. That psychic last night wasn't a medium. It was an extra large. You were absolutely right. It was hilarious. It was hilarious. Yes. It really was. I laughed a lot, you know.
So did I.
And I wonder...
I laughed more
but
at
you know the way we're
sketchy.
I know. There was more fun in it than sketchy. And, you know, funnily enough, the thing that I always wonder is this. Do you know the way, well, it's a terrible thing to say, but you and I being close, we kind of know wee things about television that people don't know. Somehow, I mean, for instance, all the close-ups. You know, they're all done separately. And when you see a TV programme being made and they're pretending that it's all happening just there and then, and you see all these different angles and all these different close-ups, you know they've done it a million times. And, you know, so we're cynical. But I really do wonder if people watching that last night laughed too. I suspect not. I suspect... No, well, maybe perhaps give us a ring. But give us a ring if you thought it was funny, or if you thought it was genuine and you really enjoyed it and were moved by it. I mean, if you can watch X Factor and believe it, you can watch anything and believe it.
What about Gordon?
Gordon? Who's Gordon?
He's on one.
Why didn't you tell me that? Gordon, I'm sorry, I wasn't told you were there.
That's all right. I've been enjoying the crack, Gerry.
Well, that's good, thank you.
And I've actually been sitting looking at, would you believe, Daniel O'Donnell's Christmas album.
You mean you have it?
I have it. My producer, my little piranha fish, told me I had to get it for my upcoming radio programs.
Well, who are you? You're a radio pan. Who are you?
Have you ever heard of Radio Cracker, Ballymena?
Yes, I have indeed. I was in your studios a number of years ago.
You were indeed.
Yes.
Well, this is really what I want to talk to you about
Go ahead.
briefly this morning, Gerry, please, because we start again this Saturday for 4 weeks right up to Christmas, and so far we have raised for relief and development in the Third World over £1.1 million.
My God.
So whoever said the folk in Ballymena were mean, I think we've disproved that.
Well,
We've been going for 19 years, Gerry.
Yeah.
This year we decided that we would change our logo, we would update it, and part of our logo was our frequency.
Yes.
But unfortunately, Ofcom have been changing our frequency from year to year, and that meant that gave us a lot of bother with our various signs and publicity, etc.
Oh,
so we decided to leave the frequency out of our new updated logo. We produced 16,000 programs for distribution in the Greater Ballymena area, and unfortunately, because of our new logo, the fact that we had omitted our frequency was overlooked, and so we've got all these brochures going out without our frequency.
So I know they're after.
I would appreciate it if you would let me say we are on the same frequency as last year, and that is 107.6 FM.
107.6 FM.
Yeah.
That's Cracker, Radio Cracker.
Yes.
And when
I've taken your advice. I spoke to you before, actually, and I said, what is the best advice you can give a producer? Or a presenter, rather.
Yeah.
And you told me, get someone to blame. And you said,
wise counsel.
That's what Sean was for.
No, I've got Ken as well. It's the words. Heed the words of Solomon. So, if indeed you're incompetent and inefficient, surround yourself by people whose fault it is. Ken and Sean, and sometimes I include Emma and Janet if she's there.
That's why I mentioned the fact that my wife told me, she's the nearest thing I have to a producer, and she said, you must get Daniel O'Donnell's latest CD.
And there
so
you are.
I'm looking at it among, would you believe, people like Henry McCulloch, Lady Antebellum, Rimmer, Neil Diamond, etc.
That's a good selection. The only thing is that I suggest about the Daniel album, is the cellophane still on it?
No, unfortunately.
You should have kept it on it. It's much better. It's far shinier, and you don't have to listen to it if you keep the cellophane on it. Listen, that's Radio Cracker 107.6 over the Christmas period. 107 period.
Starting on Saturday.
Period.
107.6 FM.
107.6 FM, and great. Maybe I'll call in to see you again. I enjoyed that wee trip the last time.
Absolutely, you would be very, very welcome.
Okay.
Anytime you're in the area.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you very much indeed.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. What a nice guy. Mm-hmm. I'm unused to nice guys. I'm surrounded by people who work here. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Gerry.
Yes, who's that, I wonder?
Catherine.
You don't have to give your full name, Catherine. It's all right.
No, I know.
Go ahead.
I know. Well, no, there is.
Catherine, can I ask you something? Do you have a radio on there?
I have indeed.
You wouldn't mind just flipping it off there because it can through my head like a dose of
salt.
salt.
I can't get over to it because I can't walk.
Oh, that's okay. Leave it on. It's all right, love. Are you wheelchair bound? Are you?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't worry about that. That's all right. Work away.
Well, anyway, you know what I want to tell you? You got your wires crossed this morning.
How did I do that?
Well, you said that Christine Blakely was talking to Daniel O'Donnell.
No, somebody's told me he was.
No, but he wasn't. It was Kate Galloway.
It wasn't Christine. She probably bowed out when she realised Daniel was coming on.
No, I don't.
She probably went, no! I draw the line there. So she got the sub in.
Yeah.
Another man was put on. Well, I didn't realise that. No, I just assumed it was Christian they do because they do it every morning.
I know somebody told you, but you didn't know.
Oh, I didn't say it.
No, you see, I'm up early in the morning, Gerry.
Well,
Yeah.
she was spared that anyway.
I'm up to get my tablets.
You do right. Well, how do you feel anyway? You okay?
Oh, yes.
All right then. Good. And where do you live?
I live in Newton Abbey.
Have you plenty of people around you?
No, just got my son here.
Oh, well, that's he'll appreciate that.
No, I have a big family, but I've only got my son staying with me, you know.
Oh, just him. Sure, wouldn't it be worse if he wasn't there, wouldn't it?
That's right.
All right. No. Okay, well, thank you for that, because it's good that we get these things right.
Okay,
thank you, love. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. What?
What's another call? I hope you don't mind.
Tired. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Gerry.
Good morning. I'm not tired of you. Sorry, I'm just tired. Well, what can we do for you, sir?
No, it's just my wife's had a heart attack here, and she's up in 5B Hospital in Belfast at the minute now. But she's on her way to recovery, hopefully.
When did she have the heart attack?
Just last week there, she was on Coleraine, so they've moved her up to Belfast to see if there's any damage done now. So hopefully maybe she'll. Did
she have a heart attack at home, or was she out?
No, she was at her work, and then I say she just not well, so they took her to Coleraine, and then they discovered it was a heart attack. So they have her in Belfast here now just to do a check on her to make sure everything's okay and there's no damage done. So I was telling her about you and Sean's all of your tricks you get up to, and I was telling her about the Dungannon salesman.
Yes.
So I would hope you and Sean would maybe do Daniel, and you'd do the Dungannon salesman to her, maybe break her day up a wee bit, maybe.
There's people in hospital with heart attacks, Daniel. I'm sure that you yourself there would be aware of that. I know you'd be visiting the old people's homes, the old dolls there. You'd be visiting them. I've seen you time and time again. No get in and out, no before you do your concert. You don't like a lot of publicity about it there, but you're getting in there and you're looking through their purses, see if you can get a few quid off them, and say, listen, I'll invest your money for you. And what do you want money in here, love? I'll take that $5 or that big white one, look, and I'll put it into my wee account and make sure it's all right, because the people around here take a out of your head. And you still visit the old people's homes, people have heart attacks, Daniel?
It'll not be long, Gerry, to him visiting you. That's all I'll say.
Oh, it's already well for you to say, like,
you're in a nursing home.
Can I ask you something? Do you mind if I ask you something now? That fella Anderson, that scalp there, was on the wires the other day, and he was saying that every time you go to Tenerife, you come back looking 10 years younger. What does he mean by that? What's he getting at there?
Oh, you're full of it this morning, Gerry.
Well, you see, I says it's the weather, it's the sun, you see, and you're under that much stress.
Thankfully, I'll not be looking for a hair replacement, like some people.
Well, you see, there's another talk about that as well. You see, your hair's wild thick for the man of your age, and some of your people is baldy. So I'm just saying to myself, I wonder how you avoided it. But when you go to Tenerife, there, the sun and the air and the food.
By the way, what do you call Dennis's wife?
I don't know. Dennis. What's that? What's that cut of yours called?
Josephine.
Josephine. Not tonight, Josephine. Not tonight.
I would just like to say to Josephine, get well soon, Josephine, and a very happy Christmas to you. God bless you, Dennis, and God bless Josephine.
Well, are you going off to Tenerife again this January or what? Like, how young will you be when you come back? Will you be 15 years younger, will you, or 20?
Do you know what I've realised now?
What?
Tenerife's not far enough away. I can still hear you.
Well, when did you go to Portugal or everyone else? Portugal's great. Down the Atlantic there. The Atlantic there. As opposed to the other one in the Mediterranean. Of course, where's the Canary Islands? Tenerife. That's the Atlantic as well. Jesus Christ. That's the same thing, same body of water. Anyway, you're looking great, Daniel, and you look nearly 12 years old.
Well, thank you.
And you were 50. You were 53 weeks ago. That's some jump.
Bye-bye.
That's some jump, I'm telling you.
I'll say cheerio to Josephine.
Good luck now, Josephine. Not tonight, Josephine. Me now, not tonight.
Thanks very much, Gerry. Thank you.
That'll finish her off completely.
Once upon a time there was a man who scorned his wife. He was never happy with his lot or with his life. His manners, they were missable. He couldn't be polite. And his wife found him wishing well one morning. She said, I wish to all who hear me, I wish with all I see money was as spoiled as the cat that got the cream. He would shout and swear and carry on like you'd never seen. Childlike and stubborn like a mule by the sea. Then his wife found her wishing well one morning. She said, I wish to all who hear me, I wish with all I see. Take this man and make him kind as he can. Hear me, I wish with all I see. Take this man and make him smile as happy as can be.
That's Kate Rusby. That's her new album, which is called, let me just get it, it's called Make the Light, and that's a track called The Wishing Wife. Thin Lizzy, there's a gentleman who writes to me and said, Thin Lizzy played in the Ulster Hall a long time ago. Eric Bell, who is from the Woodstock Road in East Belfast, a very good friend of mine. Eric, Phil, Eric's cousin and myself went back to the house and sat in Ed's stew at 3 o'clock in the morning. We all miss great bands like that. Many a great night was spent in the Pound in Belfast. Eric Bell, Jim Armstrong, Bruce Shields. Just Gerry remember these great people. Well, we were just talking about Phil Lynott earlier. Mm-hmm. And, I was around then, and I used to be in the Pound with those great people. I have to be honest with you. Some of them weren't all that great, but I won't mention any names. There's one there that I didn't like all that much, to be honest with you, but I won't single the person out. But Phil Lynott was lovely. And somebody asked me to tell a Phil Lynott story. Mm-hmm. Well, there's no real story as such, except that, see, Phil was such a lovely person, and I was lucky enough to be in Dublin when he was just kind of, hanging round. Used to go to clubs and stuff like that, and all the women used to run after him, and I used to stand beside him, in case I'd get the ones that fell. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, but he used to be and he used to have this kind of. There was a group called Orphanage, and they didn't do all that much, but they used to get together every once in a while, and every Monday night they used to play in a place called St John of God's in the north side of Dublin, and it was just kind of like a session, but people used to be able to come in. And be there. It wasn't like it didn't pay in or anything, but everybody got together, and they said, I used to go to that.
Did you play?
Yeah, but he didn't. I played bass. You see, Phil didn't play bass then. Mm-hmm. He didn't play bass. He played guitar, and I used to play bass and used to sing. And he used to sing a lot of Van Morrison songs. And my friend in the band that I was with, called Eddie, he was particularly friendly with Phil and used to write songs with him. I didn't write songs with him. I was too busy running after women and drinking. But he used to write songs. And I remember being on our apartment, our flat. I nearly said apartment.
I heard. No, you did say.
I'm sorry. I thought I was in America. Yeah. So I was in our flat one time, and Phil was there, and Eddie was there, and I was there, and I don't remember much about it. But I remember Phil saying, "Hey, Ed, have a listen to this. I just wrote this song. It's great." So Eddie said, "Work away." So Phil was going, he sang away. He says, "What do you think of it?" He says, "What do you think of it, Ed?" And Eddie said, "It's great, except it's the boxer." I said, "Oh, well, back to the drawing board." But the best fun I ever had with him was when he became famous. Thin Lizzy, when they were first in the charts with, what do you call it? Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
What do you call it?
Whiskey in the Jar.
Whiskey in the Jar. Well, see, you must remember that at that time in the early 70s, to be in the English charts would have been the greatest thing in the world. Mm-hmm. It'd be like number one in the American charts. So we were all kind of still hanging around pubs in Dublin. Do you know what I mean? Not getting anywhere, just playing on old bands and getting full, stuff like that. And we were looking at the TV, and there's Phil on. There's, look at Phil now, look, ding, 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 ding. There's Eric Bell. Look at, they're famous, they're rich, and look at us. So we used to go to this pub every Monday night. And funnily enough, it's a pub called the Zodiac, which is now called the Bruxelles. And outside that pub is a statue of Phil in it. And that's where he used to drink, and we used to drink in there with him. And I remember he came in there one night. There was a place downstairs. If you ever go to that pub, Bruxelles, don't go into the bar upstairs. It's full of tourists. Go downstairs. Go downstairs where the toilets are. And there's some little subterranean caverns down there where strange people are drinking. That's where we used to be. So he came in one night after he was in the charts. And he came in and the whole place just went crazy because he walked in like a Greek god. And you know the way people go away to London and they come back wearing real clothes. And he was beautiful. And he walked in and he was ding, 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 ding.
Beautiful's hardly the right word.
He was beautiful.
Look, he was handsome.
He was beautiful.
Handsome.
He was
Men
beautiful.
don't say other men are beautiful.
I do, because I'm in touch with my woman inside.
He was very handsome, I would say.
He was beautiful. Right, and you want to see his skin. He had lovely copper skin. His skin glowed, and his hair was fantastic. He was beautiful. Anyway, I loved him. He's the best guy in the world. And he came in, and he was standing at the bar, and I was, hey, Phil, have a drink. Oh, I'll have a pint. I'll have a whiskey, right? Hey, what a great time. It was great. Everybody's running, women hanging off his arm. You see, so I standing there chatting to me a while, and then I went to the loo. And then he came in, and he's standing beside me.
All right, yes.
Emma,
yes,
turn
yes,
your head.
Yes, yes.
So he's standing there, you see, and I'm trying not to look. You see, and he says, Gerry, can I have a word with you? I said, what do you mean? He said, come here. So there's other people even in the corner. He said, could you lend me a tenner? I said, what? He said, lend me a tenner. I said, why? He said, I'm busted. I said, what? He said, the old show business isn't what it's cracked up to be. Lend us a tenner. So I gave him a tenner. And a tenner was a lot of money then. And I had more money than him, I suddenly realised. And then he went out and he said, what do you have now? And then he bought a few guys a drink. And every time, and I only saw him once after that, once again, was in 1986 or 85, was it? And he was very badly down, but he was still healthy. But he wasn't a junkie, you know. I didn't think he was. Anytime I met him, he was fine. So the last time I met him, he did a gig, and I was doing the radio by that time. And I did a wee interview with him, and he was great. And then I heard shortly after that he died.
Did he mention the money?
No, and neither did I. But what I want to say is this: every time I go to Dublin, I go down to that street, Harry Street, it's called. And I stand in front of the statue and I look at him. And I say to myself, how many people can walk up to a statue in Dublin and say, your man owes me a tenner? Think about it.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't want the money, but, I'd like it.
You see, if Phil had asked you, it's you giving the tenners where that falls down. A pound maybe, but a tenner. In 19 what?
71.
Well,
you see, I liked him.
But
I knew he was good for it.
71? That's a week's wages.
No, it wasn't. We were making 50 quid a week then. You were making a tenner a week.
Speak when you don't understand. How can you change what has altered? How can you help when you won't reprimand? And how can you save what has faltered? The beasts on the wing, let them fly. The world's in a spin, let them fly. And we can watch as they fall and try not to notice at all. How can you share what you've already spent? How can you care for the harmless? How can you take when you have no consent? We will never be charmed by the charmless. The beasts on the wing, let them fly. The world's in a spin, let them fly. And we can watch as they fall and try not to notice at all. How can you damnation and fire, when all that we hear is misleading. We all know you speak with the tongue of a liar. You will never be what we believe in. The beasts on the wing, let them fly. The world's in a spin, let them fly. And we can watch as they fall and try not to notice. And we can watch as they fall and try not to notice at all. They will fall, fall,
That's Kate Rusby again. I couldn't resist that. That's a song called Let Them Fly from her album, which I mentioned earlier, called Make the Light.
Hold on, Dan. Gerry, sorry, I've got a young girl on the phone here who wants to know details of Barry Fleming, the work he did at Barry Fleming's Guiding Light.
Guiding Light, it's on his album, which is called...
where did he get it?
Try his website. Bert McCormick.
Has Bert got it?
Yes, he has.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Okay.
Tell her about Bert.
Right.
A lady writes to me, she said, I've just driven to the shops, Michelle. On my way there, I drove to the end of a road and turned right. A white van behind me turned right also, and I mustn't have been accelerating quickly enough for him, because when I was still in first gear, he overtook me. I wasn't in the mood for a race, so I let him go, saying, go on then, if you're such a rush. Now, I don't know distances, but by the time I got into third gear, the van's brake lights came on, followed by the right-hand indicator. As he slowly turned right into a house, my fist was already leaning on the horn, you know, the type in the middle of the steering wheel, and I shouted, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Why would you pull out in front of me and then stop and wait until you can turn in right so I have to wait behind you? Why didn't you just let me go? You see, this is one of the reasons why women shouldn't drive, because they can't handle it. What?
Happy's waiting 15 minutes.
Happy is?
Yeah.
Happy is as Happy does. Where is Happy? 1, 2?
1.
Good morning, Happy.
Hello, Gerry.
Is that your name, Happy?
Yes, I spoke
How
to
do you
you
spell
before.
Oh, no, but you never explained your name Happy, did you?
I did. but I'll explain it. I'll explain it again.
well may Emma laugh.
It was a man in my place of work that I worked in some years ago, and I went in one morning and he says, there's Happy coming. And ever since then, I've been called Happy.
Well, how do you feel about that?
I feel great, because I don't like my first name.
What is your first name?
Hugh.
Hugh Happy. Well, why did they call you Happy?
I don't know. I asked him a few times. I can't remember the answer. My memory's not good.
But you see, normally whenever a person is assigned a nickname, there's some underlying reason for it. And that reason is usually self-apparent. So you don't know. But you must have looked at... Oh, no, I bet he was being sarcastic. I bet you had a big grumpy face on you.
No, I asked him. No, he wasn't being sarcastic. No, that's my third nickname. I was in London for a long time, and my first nickname was Horace.
Horace?
That was the landlady that gave me that, and the same landlady gave me another nickname after that, Bird Brain 8182. That was the time I left London.
Bird Brain 81...
I suppose she called me Bird Brain. That might have been...
She called you Bird Brain 8182?
No.
Or just Bird Brain?
Bird Brain.
Oh, she didn't call you Bird Brain 8182?
N81.
I thought that was some kind of serial number.
I'm maybe not explaining this very well, but maybe I am stupid.
No, you're not stupid. You're just...
Well, there's people over here call me stupid. There's people in Kilray call me stupid. There's people in Derry call me stupid.
I can't believe the people in Derry would call you stupid.
Well, there is Eamon and Phyllis. Well, not Phyllis. Eamon does. And Bo in Kilray calls me. He thinks I'm a bit... Well...
Even people...
My hairdresser thinks I'm mad.
Even people in Kilray are calling you stupid. Well, that's pretty serious.
I was speaking to them at the weekend, and I was hoping someone would ask me for Christmas dinner, but they didn't. They've all got full houses. And Bridie was there. She's from Mahara. She's a lovely lady.
You're looking at your Christmas dinner, yeah?
I was telling them that my wife bought me a calendar of Cheryl Cole last year, and I hope she'll buy me one this year.
You haven't been out
and Brady
since?
says, she says, I would love one of those. I says, of Cheryl Cole? She says, no. She says, I want one of Sean.
You mean Sean?
Sean Coyle. I wonder if does he do one for the year?
Well, do you remember the calendar? Did you ever do that calendar, the naked calendar?
No, I had sense.
No, I don't think she would. No, wait a minute.
There's a naked photograph of me, in a calendar. I'm hiding behind a guitar.
Oh, it's disgusting.
Oh, I never seen that.
Very nice, I
you
thought.
don't want to see it.
But if I could get one for about £1.50 of Sean, £1.50, not £150, £1.50.
It seems
I ain't
dear.
got much money.
Seems expensive. Will you post
that
a
too
nude
much?
for 30 bob?
Excuse me, nobody's talking nude here, only you.
Sorry, Sean.
Yes.
This girl, she thinks you're fantastic. She's a married woman.
That's good.
Brady, and Joe doesn't mind.
That's all right.
But she's always, and then she says, you speak to them sometime, don't you? I says, yeah, if I have something to say, which is not very often. She
Well,
says, would
Horace,
you ever ask them
Well,
if they
Horace,
do a calendar of Sean?
I don't
And
know. BBC
I
might
says,
jump
well,
it.
I like Sean as well,
Okay.
especially the way he does John Wayne and Jimmy Stewart. And they're my favourite people.
There you are.
So I love all them. I watch them all the time.
Mhm.
I've watched Shane about 130 times.
Come back, Shane.
Yeah, that's it. You've seen it as well.
I have indeed. Well, bird brain Horace, happy?
Just happy now. That's all. I like
Okay.
it.
All right then. It's nice to talk to you, and I hope we'll talk again, and maybe perhaps Sean will get some kind of calendar on the market whereby the women will be satisfied.
Yeah. Will you do me a favour?
Yes.
Will you play a song for me for my wife, Knocklade Mountain, sung by Thomas Maguire and Fiona Ennis?
Oh, I
Would
know.
you ever do that sometime for me?
Remember, we did we not go on a concert tour with them at one stage?
What was the names again?
Thomas Maguire and Fiona Ennis.
Yes, we did.
Of course we did.
Knocklade Mountain.
We did some.
My daughter in
we did
Australia
Christmas shows.
informed me that she clummet. She clummet one time.
Clummet?
I mean, and climbed. Maybe you don't know that word.
Plummet.
Anyway, we don't use the word plummet.
No, Clummet.
Clum.
Climbed it.
Good Lord.
What is he? Had some kind of Ulster Scot?
So that was us.
No, I'm American. I want to be American.
A clumb up the wall? Who ever said that? A clummet?
Should the Americans say it's different?
Yeah, no, I've never heard anybody saying he clummet. Oh, did he go up the mountain? Yeah, he clummet.
Excuse me, I hear people on Judge
I bet you
Street.
don't know what movie that was from either.
No, I don't.
Well, I'll tell you in a minute or two. The Sons of Katie Elder.
A clummet?
Clummet.
The young fellow was at college and he says, I clumb that, what mountain was like a clummet. He says, you didn't plumb it. He says, you climbed it. And then he hit him very hard.
Rightly so. John Humphrey would have done the same.
What about Knocklade Mountain?
I'm not sure I know what that is, but I know the people you're talking about, Fiona, what do you call them? Fiona Ennis and Thomas Maguire?
Thomas Maguire
Yeah, they're
and
nice.
Fiona Ennis.
We did a couple of gigs with them, didn't they? They were
Yes,
nice
that would be nice.
people, very nice people.
Thank you.
Good singers. Okay, well, if I can get my hands on that, or if anybody sends it to me, I'll be glad to play it.
You are a gentleman.
I am
and so
indeed.
is Sean.
And so is Sean.
And Bride will be very pleased.
Okay, then. Well, happy.
Thank you very much.
Good to talk to you.
Catch you again.
Catch you later.
Bye.
Another call.
Bye.
There's another call there.
I know, but that doesn't mean...
Nigel.
I'm just
Nigel's
saying
on
cheerio to happy. All right.
I know.
Okay, good morning, Nigel.
Morning, Gerry.
Did you ever have a nickname, Nigel?
No, not really. I can't think of a nickname for Nigel.
That's right,
Really, no doubt you'll come up with one.
You either have a nickname or you haven't. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, we're calling up about the people's millions, Gerry. We're the disabled group on tonight. Belfast lost
yes.
availability.
Tell me about the People's Millions. What is it?
It's about getting £50,000 for whoever wins the votes. So everybody's allowed 10 votes, or they're probably allowed more, but if they 10 votes from one phone, and they can then register. It's dead simple. You just phone up and they tell you your vote's registered.
And is this on national television or something?
It's on ITV this evening, and it's between ourselves and another charity, which is a musical charity.
That's
and
Oh
the
Yeah.
charity wins. Oh yeah, that's correct.
That's
And
Oh Yeah.
whichever
Well,
charity-
I just mentioned earlier on for the people to ring that, so it's only fair that I mention what I talk about your group. What is your group?
Well, what we do, we take disabled people sailing, or we give them the opportunity to go sailing and participate. We have a fleet of designed specifically for the purpose, and even someone who's only the movement of maybe their hand can still sail the boat. We have them electronically controlled, so the sails move in and out and do all the things that an able-bodied sailor can do.
So the person has a sensation of sailing the boat.
That's right, and really what it does, it takes the crutches of the wheelchair away, if only for a short time. They can compete at a level along with any able-bodied sailor.
So you're up for that funding?
We're up for the funding. The idea of the funding is, Gerry, part of the difficulty with disability is getting people onto the water because the access is difficult of an ordinary beach or a slipway.
Sure.
And, this boat is designed like an old World War II landing craft, really. But we can drive it right up the beach or a slipway, and the wheelchair can trundle down, be put straight onto it.
What a great idea.
Then there's a lifting facility on it that we can transfer them to the small yacht.
Okay, we've already mentioned that the Oh Yeah Music Centre, they're up for that particular funding as well. They promote,
That's right.
They promote, young musical talent. So, and their number is 0871 6268 106. And tell me what your number is.
0871 626 815.
815. So you're just one digit below. Oh yeah. You're 0871 626 8105.
That's correct, Gerry.
Right. Okay, so each person can ring 10 times?
10 times.
And
each person can ring as often as they like, but they can only use the one phone 10 times.
All right. Well, landlines are 10p per call. I have the information here.
That's right. Mobile slightly more, probably.
Mobile charges may vary, as
That's
you know.
Right.
All right, then. Well, the best of luck to you, and the best of luck to Oh Yeah. And hope you're successful. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gerry. I appreciate that.
Not at all. It's a pleasure. Thank
you.
Bye.
Excuse me.
Bye.
Excuse me, Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Noel Thompson's taxi driver would like a quick word.
Oh, Mr. McGarry, is it? Good morning, Mr. McGarry.
Good morning, Mr. Anderson. How are you, sir?
I'm all right. What are you up to?
Listen, I need some advice. Is beer food?
It is indeed, if it's drunk the right way.
That's good, because I'm doing a 24-hour fast tomorrow for Concern, and I was hoping to lie in till about tea time, and then I've got a gig tomorrow night for Concern with myself and Jake O'Kane and the wonderful Kevin McAleer, and I thought I can survive if I can take a bit of beer, but I can't really survive 24 hours without food, you know. So I thought,
well, where is this gig taking place?
It's taking place in the Elmwood Hall for Concern. They're trying to raise millions of pounds for to prevent childhood malnutrition, though, mind you, if you keep telling... See, if you give a tenner for every time you tell the Phil Lynott story owing you a tenner, you could probably bail out the South and stop childhood malnutrition.
It was a request. I was asked to tell it. It was a request. You do requests, don't you?
Yeah, that again. Yeah, no, I wouldn't be like me to tell the same joke more than once.
No, never. I've never heard of you doing that. So that's the Elmwood Hall tonight. What time, man?
It's tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night, Thursday night, 12 quid if you're paying in. But if you're doing the fast for Concern, really, really good cause. You get in for free. And there's myself, Kevin McAleer, another comedian. Kevin McAleer, by the way, genius. He's a real Indian, Kevin McAleer. And the great Jake O'Kane from the Blame Game and various things.
Excellent.
So it should be a good night, and we'd want as many people as possible to come up.
But how do you know if people are doing the fast? Did you just turn up the door and say, I'm fasting?
I know, you see, Concern, you have to register to do the fast and try and get sponsors and stuff. If you sponsor... do you want to sponsor me, Gerry?
Sorry, you're talking to Sean?
No, he's talking to you, Gerry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realise. I thought you did. Now, one of the things I think, one of the added bonuses of going to that concert is the added likelihood that one of you may collapse during the show.
The last time I was in the Elmwood Hall, I did actually fall off the stage.
Well, maybe
my ankle.
Reprise that. All right, and that's tomorrow night in the Elmwood Hall. What time, man?
It kicks off about 8 o'clock.
Okay, a lot of good comedians there, and you're there as well.
Me as well, yeah.
See you later.
Thanks, Gerry.
Bye. How cruel we can be when we're encouraged.
That, won't it?
Jake O'Kane, Kevin McAleer, all those people.
She broke down and let me in. Made me see where I've been. Been down one time, been down two times.
That's an old chestnut from Fleetwood Mac, but what an old chestnut sounds as fresh today as it did when it was recorded. Just across the South Armagh border, says Jim, and close to Oram in County Monaghan, there's a small lake known as Stringer's Lake. Way back, even before you were born, an old woman called Mrs. Stringer died, and the family, naturally enough, buried her. How odd. Imagine their surprise when going home after the funeral, they found her sitting at the fire. There was only one man for a job like that, the local parish priest. He arrived, summed up the situation. "Get me a bottle," he called, and when a bottle was produced, he promptly put the ghostly Mrs. Stringer into the bottle and threw her into what was to be known as Stringer's Lake. She did not reappear, thereby confirming the fact that she was dead. Many years passed by until one day a gentleman whom we'll call Bill left Castleblaney to do a bit of fishing in Stringer's Lake. He hadn't much luck, but did pull in a bottle, which had fouled his line. That evening in the pub, a crony said to him, "You were fishing, Bill. Did you catch anything?" "Divil a thing," he said, "except Mrs. Stringer."